Sports writer Drew Sharp appeared on The Factor.
This is a guy, when you look at the litany of, and they are sound bites that are, clearly racially tinged.
Well, give me an example of that. I don't know really what you're talking about.
NAACP, there's a comment that he made about the NAACP saying that they should practice robbing liquor stores.
Okay, now we trace that NAACP comment. We cannot find anywhere where Rush Limbaugh made that comment.
Yeah, well, we've got no denials from Limbaugh's people that these things were said.
Look, I don't care what denial is and that. We have the best research staff in the business. The best. There is nobody better at researching than The Factor. We can't find that soundbite. We can't find any evidence of it.
The comment that he said as well about that slavery had its merits.
Okay, again, we can't find that either. We can't find it. It doesn't exist. So look, I don't think the other things were legitimate, and I could be wrong. If somebody can come up with the NAACP or the slavery comment, I'll come on tomorrow. All right, well, so far nobody has produced the alleged racially offensive sound bites, and now Mr. Limbaugh is fighting back.
If people are trying to destroy your reputation and your credibility, your life and your career by tagging you as a racist, then you have to stand up and fight that. Now, we are in the process behind the scenes working to get apologies and retractions with the force of legal action against every journalist who has published these entirely fabricated quotes about me, slavery, and James Earl Ray. I never said them.
Now, exactly what Limbaugh's legal actions are will be explored in our next segment. Now, as one who has been attacked by people using false racial hammers, I know this is a very vicious game. Once again, NBC News is taking the lead on Limbaugh.
You guys see Live and Let Die, the great Bond film with Yaphet Kotto as the bad guy, Mr. Big. In the end, they jammed a big CO2 pellet in his face, and he blew up. I have to tell you, Rush Limbaugh is beginning to look more and more like Mr. Big. And at some point, somebody's going to jam a CO2 pellet into his head, and he's going to explode like a giant blimp.
I could just see the visions of plantation grandeur dancing in his head as we speak. Yeah, it doesn't make you a racist to want to own a team, but it does kind of, with all his history, question his power position over these players who make millions of dollars.
Now, doesn't this seem to be overdone? So what if a radio guy wants to invest in a football team? Unless the investor has a proven antisocial disposition, he should not be denied an opportunity. This is 1984 type stuff, ladies and gentlemen. Thought police posture. Listen to the owner of the Indianapolis Colts.
I've only met Rush once, and we had a good conversation, but at the same time, when I see some of the comments that have been said, they're just too insensitive, too incendiary, and personally, I would have to vote no if that came to my vote.
But what comments is Mr. Irsay referring to? Here's the NFL commissioner.
The comments that Rush made specifically about Donovan, I disagree with very strongly, and it's a polarizing comments that we don't think reflect accurately on the NFL or our players, and I obviously do not believe that those comments are positive and they're divisive.
All right, that's true. The comment about Donovan McNabb saying he is overrated because some sports people want black quarterbacks to succeed is divisive and provocative. It is. But you can't assign a racist label to that comment and then institute a ban on an investor. You can't unless you're Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee.
I just simply ask those owners to do the right thing. Have a criteria, a standard, a bottom line of integrity. It's not all about the dollar.
Now, in the end, Mr. Limbaugh is not going to be able to buy into the NFL. I mean, the group he's with is already backing away. I don't think that's fair. You may disagree. However, there's something unsettling about this whole thing, as punishing speech, even when provocative, is not what America's all about. In a moment, Limbaugh's legal options. We'll be right back with that report. Limbaugh be banned from buying into the National Football League. Does he have some legal standing to deal with his critics who say he's racist? Joining us from Chicago, attorney Jennifer Smetters Here in the studio, Jonna Spilbor, former prosecutor and current defense attorney. Okay, Jonna, we'll begin with you. What can he do?
I see 2 lawsuits in the offing now. First, he should go after the people who published the statements that he's claiming he never made, because they're libelous.
Let's get specific. CNN, there was a guy in the afternoon, same guy who smeared me, interesting, who put this up on the screen and said he said it. So do you name CNN? Do you name the guy? What do you do?
You name every organization that reported it. You name every person that claims to be a source of it, because it is so libelous. Bill, he's got to go after those people, because if he doesn't...
Okay, what if they say they heard it, it's not malicious, there's no malice here, they just picked it up, and it's on the internet, and no?
It's on its face malicious, and look what it's doing. It's doing what they intended it to do.
So you think he's got a good lawsuit here?
Absolutely.
All right, what do you think, Jennifer?
He does have a baseline lawsuit, but I don't believe that it's in his best interest to pursue that. He is a great advocate for himself. He's right now using his best arsenal that he has, and that's the airwaves. He's been doing it on his own show, and he's been branching out to other entities as well. He is an amazingly effective speaker.
All right, but what's the downside of him saying, look, I'm going to go after NBC News and CNN, deep pockets there. I want an apology, and I want damages. What?
But Bill, he's got a deep pocket too. His damages would be nominal, most likely. He has a deep pocket. Otherwise, we wouldn't be talking about him buying an NFL team.
Wait, Jennifer. He's going to get booted off this consortium that was going to buy the team, St. Louis Rams. They're going to boot him off there. That's damages right there, is it not?
I understand, but Bill, it is. But Bill, I Googled him today. Bill, I Googled Rush Limbaugh, and all you see on the top searches is what's going on right now. His name is now being linked with these false statements. It comes a time where you have to say enough is enough.
Well, that's what he's saying.
If he can't take care, I understand, and he's doing a very good job at it. The question is it in his best interest to use the legal,
I don't see the downside.
To use the judicial system?
I don't know what the downside would be.
You can't unring a bell. Okay, so he's either going for it for damages, he's going after the judicial system to say, stop. Now, do you have to file a libel or a slander suit to do that?
Right.
No. He can go in and get a temporary order, a temporary restraining order, or a preliminary injunction. If he does that, that is a way of going
you disagree
about
with
it.
If the horse is out of the barn, he's got to take serious action, because he's got to he needs to send a message that says, look, I and only Rush Limbaugh can, if I want to paint myself as a racist, it's got to come from me. It can't come from anybody else. And now getting dropped from the organization that was going to purchase that team, that's millions and millions of dollars in potential damages.
Donna,
he can't just let it go.
Doing that.
I'm sorry?
Donna, he has been doing that. What he's been doing is using the airwaves.
Okay,
he's
but Jennifer, you still haven't been able, Jennifer, even though you've been very passionate on the subject, to tell me what the downside is. Look, Limbaugh gets a bunch of lawyers that like him. All right, they don't charge him a fortune. They say, look, we like you. This is wrong. We're going to right an injustice here. We're going to go after some big boys. We're going to bring them in. We're going to expose whatever they want to expose. What's the downside? The downside is that he's going to have to be deposed, Limbaugh. But if Limbaugh is clean on it, he's got no downside.
And I have no doubt on that he would come out clean on this. But the downside is that pursuing litigation will only perpetuate linking his name with these false statements.
He doesn't care about that. It's already out there, and why does he care?
But going through litigation is not going to, the cat's out of the bag. Going through litigation is not going to cure the defect. It's going to be out there. And in fact, it's going to be talked about more and more.
But he doesn't care about that.
I think it's in the best
he wants to punish the people. And I understand this because, look, I understand this because this exactly the same thing happened to me. But I chose to take your route. I hit it on the air. And then I said, look, I'm not going to go after media matters on these people. It's just not worth it. My time. But my thing wasn't nearly, and I couldn't show damage. It's where Limbaugh can't. He gets booted off the consortium.
This is inflammatory, for sure. This is inflammatory, without a doubt. But here, he has the option still to be his own mouthpiece.
Yeah, but he can do both. He can walk and chew gum at the same time.
He can do both. He can do both. But if he was serious about having litigation pursued, he could have done this as soon as that first statement came out. Instead, he took it into his own hands.
He's milking it because it's good for his program, too. People are now engaged Go ahead. I'm going to give you the last word.
Well, he just now is getting dropped, so now his damages have become real. And
Right,
the only
they're
color that
pronounced
should
now.
matter here, Bill, is green, the color of money. No other color should
Yeah,
matter.
but I mean, he doesn't need money. He can say, look, I'm going to litigate. I'll give whatever I get to charity. You know, he can give it to the, you know, some charity that would be helping African Americans. That's what I would do.
If he wants to stop it, he's got to sue.
If he wants to stop it, he's got to quiet himself.
No, he's
and
never
move
going to
on.
stop it. You got, look, Jennifer, they're never going to stop. They're never
No,
going to
because
stop.
he's an easy
They're just
target.
not.
He's an outspoken conservative,
I know
and
this
he's an easy
firsthand.
target.
They will never stop. Ladies, thanks very much.